Hello everybody and welcome to the Lab 10 overview. This lab is on the chi-squared statistic. So we're going to run a basic chi-squared test as well as have SPSS calculate what we call contingency tables for us. So we'll basically organize our nominal variables and then we're going to run a chi-squared test and then an additional test that runs based on the chi-squared test that we did not learn how to calculate by hand. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing different about this lab or compared to previous labs is that I provide the data set for you here. So don't input this data yourself, just click on this data set here. Open this data set up. Might take a moment for SPSS to get on board with us here. So let's go ahead and read what we are doing here. The idea is that we are comparing two categorical or two nominal variables, and conveniently, SPSS has a way of organizing variables, as we've done in variable view, to tell us which variables are scale or ratio, which ones are nominal, and which ones are ordinal. So if you look here, we have gender and smoker are both being noted as nominal or categorical variables, and those are the two that we will be comparing. So the first thing we're going to do is run a crosstabs, create a crosstabs of our data. So that's first and foremost. Within this, we can actually get observed and expected values. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to pull our two nominal variables into the rows and columns here, and then we are going to click into cells and get cells for observed and expected values. So let's go ahead and do just that. We do analyze descriptive statistics, we do crosstabs. All right, so we only have two nominal variables here. It doesn't matter which one you put where, right? It's going to do the same thing because when we're talking about categories, there's no inherent order to the categories, right? There's no specific order between the male and female data points or the smoker, non-smoker data points. So order doesn't matter in this case here. So we're clicking into cells and getting our expected values here. Let's go ahead and press continue and OK. All right, then we have a little bit of output here. So we have our case processing summary we always have, tells us how much data we have. And then here we have the cross tabulation, which shows us for each of our groups what the distribution of data is. So here, for example, we have female non-smokers, we have 8 of them, and then it went ahead and did our expected count for us anyways. This would be an independence test, a test for independence. For the chi-squared. So remember, we have two sets of nominal variables we're comparing as opposed to the distribution of one nominal variable. So it went ahead and did our frequency, expected frequency calculations here, which is quite nice, isn't it, that we don't have to do it ourselves. All right. So those are our crosstabs. It should look like this. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is actually have it run the hypothesis test, have it run a probability test, a chi-squared statistic on the data. So we're going to go back to the Analyze tab and then to Descriptives and to Crosstabs again. So Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Crosstabs. And this time we're going to click into Statistics. So we're going to click on the chi-square. That's what we've learned to calculate. But if you look here under nominal, we have a list of other tests that can be run on nominal data. So we're going to click here on Phi and Kramer's V. And I'll go ahead and show you what our output gives us and what this can tell us about relationships between nominal data. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's see, do we want anything else? I think that's all we want, right? We want to get the chi-squared and our new test. We're going to take a look at the output here. So this will give us a few things. This will give us a significance level of a chi-squared test. So if we go ahead and look here, we're looking here for our Pearson's chi-squared. We're looking here for our Fisher's exact test. So this is the significance value that we're looking for. This indicates a lack of significance for this particular test, indicating that there is no relationship or dependence between gender and smoking behavior. All right, it's telling us that we have too little data, but that's okay, right? Because this is just for example's sake. And then we have that other test that we ran down here, our Phi and Kramer's V. Notice that these values are the same. These types of tests give you something similar to a correlation. It gives you a magnitude value, something between -1 and +1, that shows you how strong the relationship is between your two variables in question. Notice here that this is a very small value, 0.05, all right? So think about interpreting this in terms of a correlation coefficient. The closer we are to 0, the less of a relationship exists. Same type of idea here. So that's just an additional test that we can run using SPSS to determine the strength of the relationship, not just if it's significant. So that's helpful for us. And then that's it. You'll go ahead and save this output. We save a nice short, sweet lab for last. So make sure that you have your crosstabs up here, right? Whoa, too far. These crosstabs here with your observed and expected counts, the chi-squared test, as well as our additional nominal tests. And that wraps it up for this lab. As always, be in touch if you have any questions.